brain computation answer, no limit. Mendaciology, the computational cognitive science of lies and deceit, explains why there is no limit to the numbers and kinds of lies that the human brain is capable of expressing, understanding, or acting out in communicating one human to another. We believe there is overwhelming evidence in the science of human natural language computations that human brain computation can be accurately modeled or simulated as a theory comprised of very large numbers of simple processing units, which takes as inputs subjects and predications on the subjects, and outputs propositions. This is called perceptron theory because it says the basic neural computation is always composed of perceiving a neural memory comprised of subject and predicate propositions, whether learned or innate, and intuiting propositions from the activation of these perceived memories. The name perceptron combines a subject-predicate percept with a tron, which forms a proposition from the subject-predicate percept and forwards that proposition as a subject or predicate component to other perceptrons. Why the theory of brain computation is called perceptron theory. It is not exactly what we think about your learning, thinking, memory, and behavior. It's a simple, highly predictive medium.com. We can observe and estimate on the order of 100 billion neurons in your brain, with every neuron connecting directly to 3,000 other neurons. While we do not pretend to know everything that could be known about the relationships between perceptrons and neurons, we do have evidence, therefore, that the perceptrons in your brain number in the trillions of possible perceptrons organized as the neurons are wired together in your brain with their direct connections to each other, or from sensory motor inputs and outputs in sensory or motor neurons. Different apt metaphors for this theory of neural computation are that your brain has billions, if not trillions, of light bulbs of information about reality potentially going off in your brain all the time. Another is that your brain divides the recognition of reality into many small recognitions that can, at any moment, form hierarchies of recognitions, just as natural language forms grammatical, semantic, and narrative hierarchies. And finally, that consciousness can be explained by the necessity that these hierarchies be formed to provide singular, consistent neural control throughout the trillions of possible lights. Consciousness is simply the confirmation that you are doing something, whether it is hierarchically organized, perceiving, remembering, thinking, or doing. Consciousness figured out. It's confirming you are doing something. Medium.com. The brain is a truth engine, but it is an intuited truth engine that can make mistakes, and mistakes about the underlying real truths can be a boon to survival. In effect, any proposition that can be constructed can either be the actual truth or a deception of truth, a lie. This propositional approach to explaining all neural computation, whether it be in humans or animals, says there is nothing else that neural systems as organs do. It is simply bringing subject and predicate propositions together in the dynamic organization of propositions which you see as you and what you are perceiving, remembering, thinking, or doing. Since any proposition can be interpreted in a context as an actual truth or lie, then there is no limit to the number of intuited truths or lies that the brain can conjure up in hierarchicalizing communications among humans. Every sentence you utter can be further predicated as a truth or lie. There is no limit to either, because the content computations are never context-free. The picture of the universe of truth and lies headlining this article was chosen because it nicely illustrates how one human brain, in this case the Trump cartoon baby, can cavalierly perceive, remember, think, and do things with no regard to whether he is bound by truth or lies, and how some people who wish society to go into societal chaos can goad him on with feedback that he is doing the right things, and other people trying to give him shiny object rewards for being sensible. Further watched by people who find all this entertaining, the liars are everyone for different reasons. The baby because he does not know or care. The person goading him on because he wants the baby to lie and can pretend he doesn't. The sensible people lying with toys to try to deceive the baby into not lying. And the person being entertained who is in fact being damaged by the baby lying, and so is lying to himself as well. This picture provides a spectrum of limitless lying characterized by ways in which one can deceive himself.